Hello everyone. Good afternoon, and I would like to encourage all of you to participate in our service provider gamification challenge. Do visit, chat, and interact with your service providers from e-commerce business, and you stand a chance to win Amazon Eco Dot and other gift cards. Um, with this, let's start our session. So today, our next speaker is Rohan Mittal, director from AdYogi. AdYogi helps e-commerce brands in automating their paid ads to improve returns. Currently, they are managing over 200 e-commerce brands with an annual ad spend of more than $15 million. Very excited to have you here, Rohan, and to hear you speak. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Namita. Thank you for the kind words and the introduction. Uh, Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here, and we have a good solid deck around how you can acquire new customers and what are the key things that you need to keep in mind. Uh, I'll keep it short. I'll take 15 minutes of your time, and I think there's no Q&A, but you can just feel free to address your queries after I'm done with the presentation. So let's start. So how I've structured the flow of the presentation is that what are the key things we need to keep in mind. I'll deep dive into each of these key things. So first point is typically what are the best hygiene practices for your website? What are the key things in mind you need to have for your website? Second is how do you plan your marketing activities? Once you have a good website, how do you make sure that you start getting some traction and some traffic from the marketing activities that you do, or even non-marketing activities like SEO or content and that kind of stuff. Third is when you start seeing some traction through the marketing efforts, or you start seeing some organic traffic coming onto your website, how do you optimize your campaigns? How do you set up for scale? How do you make sure that the ROIs or the numbers that you're doing in terms of the ad spends and the revenues that you get make sense for your business and they are viable for you to scale? And third, when you've already acquired a good amount of customers, how do you engage them? How do you re-engage them? What are the benefits of having a good customer base that you can leverage later on? So I'll just take you through multiple steps of each of these topics. So let's start. So the first is, what are the key things you need to keep in mind for your e-commerce store or the website? Now, first thing, what any customer that comes to your website has been swayed by the kind of product that you have shown, right? That's the only thing that a customer can buy from your website. So it plays a very important role how you highlight your product and how you describe your product. I've given an example of, let's say, a good and a bad kind of an ad. So the first ad is where you are clearly defining what your brand is. In this case, let's say the brand name is Malmal, and what is the category of the product that you are selling. So if you look at the background, it's pretty plain, neat. The product stands out, and there's a model wearing the product. So these are all the good practices about how you should portray your product. In the second image, if you see, there are a couple of things that are not right. There's no description of the product, so that sometimes kind of tends to confuse customers. There is no brand which is visible there in the product description. That has to typically be a part of the product description as well. And the model has to be with the complete face. So typically, a complete model wearing your dress has to be a good image which can generate a better CTR. So just make sure you define your product very well. When somebody is interested in your product, in the category and in the brand, the next step is that people generally try and read about the product. What is the story behind the product, the legacy, or what are the description, what are the details of the product. So it can be right from what kind of clothing has been used, what kind of dimensions the product is all about, which all sizes do you have, what is the exact color that somebody is seeing in the screen. So all these things kind of help make up the mind of the end user to convert fast or be comfortable of what they are buying. Just take an example on the right hand side where there are multiple tabs. Typically, if there's no information in any of the tabs, it kind of makes you think whether I'm buying the right product or not. There's absolutely no customer review. So this is definitely not one of the top sellers because there's no customer review. The description is blank. If there's no description, then you're not sure exactly you'll get what you are seeing or what you have in mind. So just to give comfort to your audience, you should go detailed out in terms of what product you are selling. So that is second. Keep that in mind because product is what will drive your sales. Now, what happens is think of your website as an offline store. When you go to an offline store, typically you tell your interest in the category that you want to buy or indulge, and then you have multiple options by the storekeeper or the shopkeeper to evaluate and choose. Now, what we strongly recommend at AdYogi to all our clients in all the verticals, not just fashion, is to have a related products tab on every product page. So if I'm looking at a blue kurta, chances are that I might want to explore some more collection within that category and then probably decide whether I want to go ahead and make a purchase or not. So if we don't have related products in the product page, it becomes a little tedious for the end user to go back to the category page, select the category again, and then come to the new set of products. So related product tabs we've actually seen gives you a much more product page view number compared to if you don't have this feature on. It's a very simple feature with I think there's no too much of analytics or science required around it for acquiring first 100 customers. You can just pick up the products which are in stock. You can pick up the products which are from the same category as the main product page, and you can showcase 3 or 5 or 7 products on the website, on the product page. So we definitely recommend to use this feature. And I'll come to the funnel, how it helps you to increase the conversion rates on the website. So that is pretty much about the website. Now, how do you set up your marketing activities? And there are tons of platforms, there are tons of activities that can be done. So which is the right activity for you? What is the kind of platform you should use? So majorly for driving revenue in online space, you will have 3 buckets. Largely, you can put all of your marketing channels within each of these 3 buckets. Any of these 3 buckets, sorry. First is the SEO and content marketing. SEO is how Google will pick up your brand name or the product and show it on, let's say, the first page or the first top 3 ranks. That is your SEO, goes strongly with how your website is developed and function and what the content is on the website. Influencer and affiliate marketing. Influencer is right from, let's say, Bollywood celebrities endorsing products or sports stars endorsing your products. It's a very common strategy across brands. And there's a set of micro influencers that you can use to go small and slow, evaluate the efficacy of these campaigns. Affiliate marketing, you will have some emailers, some incentivized affiliate traffic coming onto your website. And then you have your major channels of Facebook and Google, which can drive traffic. Now, each of these 3 headings will bring traffic in different volumes and at different costs. So your volumes will largely vary, where advertising, you can pump in money, you can increase the volumes, you need to keep a tab on the ROI. SEO is not a function of budget so much. You'll have to build it organically. It will take time, and beyond a point, it will kind of get saturated as well. Once you do good with the you're around 20-25% of the total traffic as the SEO traffic. Influencer and affiliate marketing are typically not very regular activities, but they are like dependent on the campaigns or the events or the festivities, and then they kind of bring in a good amount of traffic which digital advertising can retarget and convert. For getting first 100 customers, we typically go by the digital advertising route. It's the easiest. It's easiest to do A/B testing on that. Very cost effective. There is no minimum threshold that you have to commit initially, and once you get first 100 orders, then you get a sense of where the funnel is going and what kind of people are coming to buy your product. Now, what is the right channel? Once you have decided that let's start with ads for the first 100 customers, how do you decide between Google, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube? Just for simplicity, we've tried to cover, or we've tried to elaborate on three major platforms, Google and Facebook and Instagram. And how you should define your product is, think about as an end user. Is it that your product involves a lot of intent? Is it a very impulsive purchase? Are you giving a very good deal so that people will immediately come look at the deal and then buy the product? Or is it a very high value purchase that a customer has to commit? So they'll take a longer time, they'll explore more, they'll browse more, they'll come to your website multiple times. So in short, the thumb rule is, if it's a very high intent product, Google is the channel to go to create traffic onto your website, that upper funnel impact. If it's a very impulsive product, if it's into, let's say, fashion, Instagram is the right product, Instagram in the right platform. And through Instagram, I think fashion brands kind of cannot survive without Instagram in terms of scale up. And if you're going about deals, if you're giving, let's say, a flat 40% off for a few hours, or let's say a weekend flash sale, something of that sort, then it becomes a mass advertising channel where you can use Instagram and Facebook as well. Few other things that also define how you should plan your advertising strategy, I'll cover that later as well. But when your product is a high average order value product, or it's a longer decision cycle product, let's say a high-end furniture that you're planning to buy, or let's say real estate or a car, you should keep in mind that you have to reinforce the engaged customer with your ad. So that can happen through any channel. But what you need to effectively do in your ad strategy is to increase the frequency of your ads, so that in that longer decision cycle, you are always in the mind of the end user to make that purchase and close that purchase. So just few of the things, basic things that you need to keep in mind. High intent means that you have to spend a decent amount of budget on Google search ads as well, because largely people will come there. And a high repeat rate, if people have bought from you and they are again coming to buy from you, again means that you'll have to spend good amount of budgets on search as well. That might still not go beyond 10-20% if you're spending decent amounts, but then you have to focus on Google search also. Now let's say, let's do some maths around it. If we want 100 purchases, what is it that we are looking at in terms of how many add to carts should we get? How many, I'm just going from right to left. How many add to carts? How many product views should I see on the website? For those product views, let's say 4,000 product views, how many clicks do I need from my ads? And for these many clicks, how many impressions do I need to serve? What will those impressions cost me? So this is a typical benchmarking exercise that we do. If I go through the numbers, this is largely what you see in fashion brands, be it footwear or apparel or let's say lifestyle brands. And if you do the maths, for 100 purchases, you need to serve close to 5 lakh impressions on Facebook. These are Facebook stats. Typically 5 lakh impressions will give you 5,000 clicks, and at a 2% website conversion rate, you will land up at 100 purchases. Wherever you are, let's say, not as per the benchmark, out of 5,000 clicks, if you're not getting 5,000 product views, or you're not getting 500 add to carts, you will have to look at each of those steps minutely where you are going wrong, where the data is getting leaked in the entire funnel. And then you'll be able to at least identify the right issue and address it. It can be a advertising efficiency issue. It can be a website technical issue if you see higher dropouts. It can be a payment gateway issue as well. But all these micro steps kind of give you an idea where to look for in case there's a drop. And these are industry benchmark numbers. So if you are in if you're in a fashion space and you are not seeing these kind of numbers, there is definitely something that can be improved in the funnel. Now, how to optimize your ads? So once you have seen decent amount of traffic through the ads and you're seeing some traction on sales as well, how do you change or tweak your ads so that you get better efficiency or you get a better scale. You can spend double at same efficiency or slightly reduced efficiency. But what are the levers, what are the tricks that you might need to use to optimize your ads? So you need to structure your campaigns uh, in Facebook terminology. You need to structure your campaigns as per the funnel. First is your awareness, that you need to stand out in, let's say, among 100 other advertisers, 1,000 other advertisers, to showcase and highlight your product. This would largely mean people who have not heard of your brand, people who have not interacted with your ads. They will get to know that you are there as a brand, you are selling this kind of a product at this price point. So you always start with awareness. Then you kind of get some filters put in at awareness level and move people to consideration. Consideration can be of any sort. People can interact with your ads, people can like or comment or share your ads, people can click on your ads and come to the website. But a consideration means that you have some sort of an intent from the person to indulge with your product. Third is conversion. The moment people come into your conversion funnel, they will probably do an add to cart, or they'll try and make a payment, or they'll either close a sale as well. So any journey of new customer will start from awareness to consideration to conversion. What we call awareness is prospecting, that new people, cold audience will come to your website. Consideration and conversion is largely your remarketing campaigns, where you keep showing your product in different ad formats, in different video formats on different platforms. It can be Facebook, it can be Instagram, it can be Google as well. And then you convert, and then there are certain tricks to make sure that your customer keeps coming back to purchase, because that's the lowest hanging fruit that you have in case your business has a repeat rate. Few basic things when you run ads. Just make sure we've tested it enough. Land all the clicks on the product page and not the category page, because product pages makes it easier for people to be closer to the sale and the transaction. So they can right away look at the product, add them to the cart, and go to buy now button. Don't land them on the category page. It adds 2 more clicks to the purchase funnel. We've not seen very good results if you do that. Now, what part of your budget should go into awareness, and what part of your budget should go into, let's say, retargeting or customer retargeting? Typically, your top funnel has to be heavy. More than 50% of the budget, around 60-70% of your budget should go into the top funnel activity. This will just bring traffic to your website. This will not immediately give you sales, but this is important because there would be some fraction of audience from that funnel that will convert on your website. So you need to have a healthy mix of prospect audience along with your retargeting audience. And retargeting will always be a limited set. You will only have people who have clicked on the ads or engaged with the ads. So that's always a small set. Awareness is the Facebook, Google, Instagram universe out there. So you can spend as much as you want in case you found your niche. These are the numbers. If you break up your benchmarks of each of the steps, you have a CPM, what is the inventory cost for you, what Facebook charges you for serving 1,000 impressions. Then what is the CTR that you get? CTR is people who are clicking on your ad. Out of people coming onto your website, how many people do an add to cart? How many people from add to cart make the purchase? These are the numbers that you should track on a daily basis to find out whether campaigns are going well, whether campaigns are not going well. And it's easy to infer that what is going wrong, what is going right. The moment, let's say, you have a smaller add to cart rate, you need to look either at the website speed or at the audience targeting, whether you're targeting the right set of people or not. Now, how do you engage your customer base? Just do some slicing, dicing of your customer base when you get a decent amount of customers on your website. What you can do is, customers will typically purchase quickly compared to a prospect audience. You will have to understand the repeat buying patterns. Do customers come onto your website and buy again in 30 days, in 15 days, or in 40 days? Accordingly, you need to set up your budgets for that. Customers typically buy high value products, and they are more keen to buy even a non-discounted product as well. So they are less of price sensitive customers. So you need to make sure that you show them high value products. You show them products which are from your fresh collection, and you'll find a better average order value from customers compared to people who come to buy for the first time on your website. And you can split your customer base with high frequency buyers, people who keep coming very frequently, high value purchasers, people who buy very high end items from your website, and then target accordingly as per their buying pattern. Just one example, this is a website, fashion brand in kurtis. We've been working for last 2 years, and they're big spenders on all the social media channels, and they typically see a 30% lower cost per sale from customers compared to the new audience that you get. And they have a decent amount of customer base, so there's some analytics that can go into that as well. But a 30% lower cost per sale is a very good number for, let's say, having very high budgets and very large amount of customers. So the engagement has to be there through ads with all your customers. Little bit about AdYogi, how AdYogi works. AdYogi integrates with your website, takes the first party data through multiple sources. It is Facebook ad account, it's Google AdWords account, Google Analytics on your website, and finally the website platform. It can be any platform. It can be Shopify, Magento, custom built, headless. We use that information to fine tune your campaigns. We are plugged with all the major platforms through the APIs, and we understand to a large extent how Facebook, Google algorithms work. And looking at the data that we collect from your website, we fine tune and tweak your campaigns for a better scale up or efficiency. That's what we've been doing for the last 5 years, and the only niche has been e-commerce and only performance marketing. We don't take up branding. AdYogi is built to kind of drive higher revenues on your website. Thank you so much. I hope you find it useful, and glad to have you as my audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit. It was a wonderful session. There was a lot of interesting things. For all the attendees, if you want to interact with Rohin and you have some questions that you want to ask, please reach out to him at his booth, and he will be happy to help all of you guys. Thank you so much. Have a nice time. Bye.
Thank you, Namita. Yeah, so we are offline now.
Stop it. Yeah. We can switch off everything.
Okay, should I close the window?
Yeah.
Okay.